Hello and welcome to Project Home DIY. My name is Christine Gloat, the owner, founder, and designer of Your Project Home Boxes. Thanks for joining us this month, and we get to again make something useful. I love to be able to make functional decor that you can use around your home in multiple ways. So this one definitely serves its purpose. So let's get started. I'm going to do something different, a little different this month with as far as the painting goes. I use a lot of stains usually, and this time I'm going to make a faux stain. So faux fake, a fake stain, but I'm going to be using our paints that come in the starter kit. So I'm going to use the brown, I believe alpaca, and the blue slate. And the way I'm going to make a faux stain is I'm going to water it down, and I'm going to paint the whole board in the watered down stain color. And then, and I can even wipe it on. So using just a regular cloth, like I can wipe it on just like I would stain. But this way, this stain will provide us with a nice finish, one, and it dries quicker. So that's what I love about faux stains. It makes it much more fast, quicker of a process than regular stain. Regular stain is oil-based. So you can see I just added some paint and water, and now I'm going to mix them. Okay, I can just paint this right on, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Makes it easier. If you don't like the darkness or the stain is too light, add more paint or add more water to make it lighter. So I'm going to make it real kind of sloppy at first, and then I go back and kind of smooth it out. Okay, front is finished, and I do like to finish the back. You don't have to, because obviously if it's hanging, you won't see it, but I do like to paint it anyways. So I'm going to paint that, but I'm going to not set the face of it all the way down. I'm going to put that underneath it, so it's kind of tilted. Okay, it's all painted. Check the front, just make sure, yeah, see there's a little line. Just going to go across it just to even that back out. Okay, and I'm going to set it down in the heater. Okay, next spot. So for the board, the main board, I'm going to put a couple of solid stripes on it in a vertical position, so straight down the center. So I'll use the clock as an example. I'm going to paint this half, a little less than half of it. It will be ivory, and then I'm going to do a blue stripe along with it as well. So here's my two colors. I'm just trying to decide what color to paint the shelf, because then I'll have black hardware, but I think I'm just going to stick with the stained wood color, or I was thinking about doing black. Nope, I'm going to stick with the stained wood color. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the shelf, and maybe, ooh, I have an idea. The opposite half of the shelf, I'll stripe it in white. So like this half, I'll stripe it in white, because then it'll kind of balance the other half of the board, of the solid board, and kind of tie it all in. That's my plan. All painted? All right, the boards are dry. That's what's awesome about the stain, is the faux stain, it dries quick and it's ready to go. So it is a little bit rough. Anytime you put any water-based anything on wood, it's going to pull grain up. So it makes it a little rough. So take the sanding block and smooth it out. If if you're doing the technique that I'm doing, which is painting the line, you will want that smooth, because if not, the line will leak under the tape. So take any masking tape, painter's tape. I actually happen to have painter's tape, oddly enough, which not very much left because some little kid used it all. This is like a craft warehouse, believe it or not, out here with these kids. So they just use it all up. So I am going to go, let's see, a little bit. Let me see what, okay, this is the bottom. So I would have done that on the wrong side. Make sure it's straight. Okay. And I'm going to fold it around the edge because I will paint the sides white as well. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is really stuck down good because I don't want that to leak through. So I'm going to take a white, and I am going to use a chalkier paint actually, so it just, oh, it's real thick. Ooh, I need some water in there. That's way too thick. It might be too thick to use, but let's try it. We can make it work. Okay, the white is on. That took a little bit more just to make sure it's nice and covered. So it's so thick. That's not what I meant when I said I wanted a little thicker paint, but I sure got it. Okay, got a little bit of a mess over here. Just wipe it up. Oh man, I got paint everywhere. Okay, I'm going to peel off this paint, or sorry, the tape, painter's tape, so I can check my lines. If there is any, nope, pretty darn good. If there was any like bleeding, I could take an X-Acto knife and really just like clean that edge right up. So I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, again, put it in the dryer. If you use a dryer, heater, whatever. Okay, so the handle goes on this side, on the side with the white stripe. So I'm going to paint this half white. Okay, all painted. Again, I'm going to take my tape off now so I can double check if there's any bleeding, but it's all clear. Beautiful. Okay, now I have to wait. Actually, it's dry. Oddly enough, that was quick. Sand over your painted spot. If you're doing a second line, which I am, doing it in, find my apron is the best towel. I'm going to do a second line in the blue. So you have to tape both sides this time. So I got to cover up the white. Okay, and then I'm going to make just a new little line about that thick. And this will just be an accent color. And I love the slate blue, obviously. And Ford trucks just came out with like a slate blue. It was so pretty. It's like the Project Home truck. It's beautiful. Okay, that's painted or taped off, excuse me. And here's my blue. Oh, no, not opened yet. This is the blue out of the kit. So I've used all the colors except for the white because I wanted a real thick paint. That. Okay, peel off the tape. And how do we do? Love it. Okay, let it dry, and then I'm going to give it a nice sand. And then let me see if I like. Ooh, I do. Oh, I always do this wrong. There we go. Oh, maybe I should do. I think I am going to do the blue on this one. I think so. Watch, I'm going to run out of tape now. I think I am. Okay, made it one. I didn't sand. I should have, but it's okay. I'm not painting over the white, so I don't need it to be exact. I'm just making a line, so it should be okay. The tape. And voila. Okay. I'm going to give that a little tiny bit to dry, and we'll be back to finish it. But I do want to show you here, it bled a tiny bit. So just an easy trick to fix that. You can see it bled. Just take an X-Acto and scrape it back off so it's even. Anytime you're stenciling, you can use a X-Acto to straighten stuff out. If there's any bleed lines at all, just use an X-Acto, and your sanding block will be your second best friend with making things look straight. So I'm gonna let those dry, and we'll be back. All right, both pieces are dry. Next step is to just sand the bit. So again, you paint on it, it makes it raised, makes it rough, so just smooth it back out. Okay, dust from sanding is an issue, but just make sure you dust or sand in a place where you can get dusty and then be able to clean it up. So, all right, next we can start to assemble. So we'll put the shelf on, and then, and actually before I put the shelf on, I'm gonna put on the little bracket. So you have two shorter black screws. Mine are not black, mine are gold. Mine, again, if you guys have been with me long enough, you know I plan these projects well in advance, and sometimes things change. So that's what happened in this case. So take the screwdriver provided and put your handle on there and screw it in. You'll notice that the bottom of the board has the bigger holes in the bottom so the screws can sink in. That's called countersinking. So it's countersunk in there. And it will screw in just nicely, hide those and conceal those screws a little bit, keep them flat, make it just right. So just tighten those up. Easy. Love it. Beautiful. You know, this could almost use a tiny bit of wax. Let me see if I have some. But that's okay. Not a big deal. But if you had a wax, like you could wax over this. I don't mind the way it looks, but it could use wax if you desire that look. So, okay, same thing with the shelf. You have 3 longer brass screws. That's what goes in the back here. Mine, again, is a little different than yours. So I'm going to screw one of them in and then hold this sucker up here and line them up because it is all pre-drilled on the back for you. So you'll know right where to put that. Okay. So screwed in, but before this one's tight, I'm going to poke this one through and line up the hole on the back of the board and then start screwing this one. And then I know for sure, and I can go back here and tighten this one. That one's tight. That one's tight. And then the middle has to just fit. Perfect. So simple, clean, beautiful. And I love it. Okay, last step, the hooks, which are really awesome and sweet. These are hidden hooks, which I love because you don't have to display it that it's a hook if you don't want to. So it's pretty awesome. These go where you place them. So that can be kind of tricky. So I would take both of the hooks. I did this one time already, and I feel like I had a really good method of doing this, but now it's maybe 2 months later and forget how I placed them. Okay, so right now I have them like this. And just eyeballed. Does it look good? I think it's straight. Okay, now for your sanity, I would take a pencil and put the holes in the wood, or draw the holes in the wood, just like this. So then if these move, you can line them back up, which they will move when you have to put these in. Okay, and using the black screws that came in the bag, take those, and it works much better if you push in hard first to get that screw to stick, and then screw it down. About 10 turns, not too much, not too difficult. Again, check your holes where you made your marks. Make sure they line up. There is one. And here's the other. Checking my holes. And that is it. Love it. Nice concealed metal hooks. They can hold a lot of weight. If you put this on your wall, make sure that you are securing your screws into at least one stud. And you have to, you can use mollies for the other one. If you're not sure how to use these, make sure you look it up on YouTube, how to use sheetrock mollies. That will help you with the hanging. So simple trick also with hanging, I want to show you real quick, is taking a piece of tape, and I'm going to have to reuse one of my painted tape ones, but it's okay because I think it's dry. It's the back of the wood anyways. So you know where to put your screws on the wall. Take a piece of tape and line it up with right at the cusp of the hole, where the hole starts, at that top of, or that bottom of that keyhole. Line both sides of the tape up right there. These are even. And then on there, mark exactly where those holes are. Just make a circle, mark those holes, and then you can take your piece of tape, flip that around. You can take it on your wall, place your piece of tape, and then get a level. I don't have one with me. A bubble level, or you can download an app on your phone. They have a bubble level on your phone, and put it on the top of this piece of tape and move your tape until it is level up or down. Then put in your screws in your wall and your mollies if you needed, whatever, and then this will hang right on it. Super easy way to be able to put 2 screws in a wall and hang something straight. So tape it, mark it, tape it, put it on the wall, level it, and then make your holes. So, all right, thanks for joining us this month, and we will see you next month where again, oh, what are we doing? This is October, it'll be November. Oh, a nice little winter scheme. It'll be coming your way soon. See you then. Bye.